Hi guys, here's a little video on some tips for a speed feed head for your whippersnipper. This is how they come apart. They're great heads because they feed easily. A lot of guys use these heads, and they're relatively problem free. But that's the cap. You can buy replacement caps when the cap wears out, cheap enough. You can buy the eyelets that wear out. You can go buy them cheap. But a few little tips and things that I do when I get a new one. Now, genuine speed feeds usually don't have any troubles. If you're using cord thicker than, say, 2.4 mil, I used to run a drill bit through here just to open it up a little bit. So if you're using 2.7 mil, run a 3.5 mil drill bit through, and that just makes it a little bit easier to line up when you are reloading with new line. That's just one little trick. Another one that I like to do is with the eyelets on a brand new one. The eyelets can have a little sharp edge on the inside, which can cut your line. On a new head, you might find your line breaks off quick. I just get a chainsaw file and just take that little sharp edge in the middle there off. Take the eyelet out and just run it around. It just takes that edge off. I mean, it doesn't make much difference because it wears. They do wear fast because they're only alloy. But taking that little edge off can help with line cutting on a new one. Now, genuine speed feeds, usually you don't have a trouble with feeding out. I'm talking about when you bump it, a genuine one will feed out pretty good. In saying that, there's a lot of Chinese ones on eBay that you'll find cheap, and a lot of guys buy them. I mean, I do. Everyone likes to save a bit of money, and you can buy a whole head for 25 bucks, even less. But what you often find with those Chinese ones, you tap them and they don't want to feed out. Right? So what I've worked out, the problem is, if you take the head apart, take it off the machine, this piece here that fits onto that piece there. I haven't got the spring in this one, but the spring goes in there, that goes in there. So you take the whole head off. This piece, the flat piece, put it on there. It should be really easy to turn. Like, really easy. There should be a little bit of movement there, actually. On the Chinese ones, their tolerances are very tight. And when you put that on there, it'll be really tight to turn. So the trick is to get some sandpaper, about 120 grit sandpaper, and just take the edge off here on this piece. So if you sand that edge down and you put this on, you try it, it'll take you a little while. Don't use rougher than 120 because that can roughen this edge up too much. But you do that and get that to flow freely and put it back together, and those Chinese ones are just as good then as a genuine. That's just a little tip because and one thing, don't spray any lubricants or oil on it. If you want to lubricate that, use a bit of dry graphite powder. Don't put oil on it because the sand and muck will just stick to the oil and grease and that'll clag it up too. But that's just a few little tips with a speed feed head. I use the small diameter ones. There is the bigger ones. I'm just used to using the small ones. It makes no difference. It's what you're happy with and comfortable using. Some blokes don't like using these, and that's fine. I just find them very convenient, easy to load, and good heads. You rarely have a trouble. The other thing is, though, they do wear out. It takes a while, but and you get a bit of vibration on a worn out speed feed. There's a bit of wobble, bit of vibration in the shaft that you'll feel on your whippersnipper. I just throw them away then and buy a new one. I mean, they're not very expensive, and I mean, you do thousands of lawns with one. And the caps, you can buy the Chinese caps, there's no problem with that. They're about $10 each. They get holes in them. They're no good when they get holes in them because dirt gets in there and it stops them springing back when you tap it. Anyway, guys, I hope that's helped a little bit. Yeah, that's the Speed Feed hair. They're very simple to put on you. Some guys have trouble fitting them when they get them brand new. They come with the different coloured spaces, thread spaces, not spaces, the thread colours. You just got to match it with your machine. And in here, they do come with a plastic spacer. I usually use that first and then put this on. That's one thing I have noticed though, that some Chinese ones don't come with that spacer. You really need that plastic spacer. Okay, thanks guys. I hope that's helped a little bit. I'll see you in the next one.